Thank you very much, brother. I am Chris Brooks. I am an adjudicator with the college. I am also a fellow of the college. I'm also on the board of directors. A couple of different things that I would just like to add to Craig's presentation is all of our assignments are basically paper driven. So we're encouraging brothers to do more writing so that they can more confidence in themselves and more of an understanding of the proper communication to get that gets out there. And I hate public speaking, just so you guys know ahead of time. So if I stumble or whichever, I apologize. Um, when you start at Ashlar, you start with an essay that you have to write. It's basically, why do I want to be a Mason? Or why am I a Mason? And when you're finished, you pretty much answer the same thing, but it changes a little bit by what did I learn about myself going through all of this knowledge to become a better Mason or become a better person. I found myself that was one of those things that was very beneficial to myself. And I'm the outlier here because I'm actually in Saskatchewan. You guys are basking in snow and sort of green grass, and we're still sitting with under a foot of snow. And if we're lucky, -1 is warm. So you guys enjoy. Some of you guys have been rubbing it in at me there the last couple of days. So anyway, okay. Our new web page is actually not online yet. So you guys are going to get a new look at this. And it is, as soon as I can get there, right here. Can't get a full screen on it though. There, okay. So as Brother Craig was talking about, we had to do something a little different with this because our curriculum, as we call it, like we have 21 courses, but because we have existing students, we had to kind of change things up a little bit. Our new system now is, as Brother Craig alluded to, we have 6 courses per level. I don't know why I opened from here very well. Okay. So these are what our courses look like. Basic, the basic courses. But what we have done is we've taken 18 courses of those 21 courses, except for the workable master courses. And we have structured them so that they would be like start to finish what you would learn. So we go back to history, way back to the start of Grand Lodge, and we progress up, and then we follow through symbolism, philosophy, everything and anything that's pretty much Masonically related. There is a couple of courses that are a little different. As Brother Craig alluded to, we do not kind of specifically follow any book of the work or ritual. So the courses that we have for that one in particular is if somebody from a different province, such as myself, wants to take that particular course, they would actually research their own Grand Lodge. And that would be the way that they would get the credit for that course. Other things that I'll just give you a quick look at the way it's all set up here. So we have what's called the level 1. And these are your courses for your level 1. So you have origins and history, Freemasonry, and history again, Freemasonry, history. So pretty much, and then constitutions and regulations. Now, what a student would do is would complete those 6, and as soon as they're done, they'd move on to level 2. Once they have decided, then you're granted your fellowship or your associate. When you are moving on, there's an essay per level, just kind of, you get to pick your own topic, but again, it is to do your, your own kind of stuff on learning. When we adjudicate a course, there is no pass or fail. What we try to encourage is free thinking and expression. So when somebody submits something to us, it we basically go over it and encourage them to think. We will ask questions, get answers, yada, yada, yada. The reason we've decided to go with this new website is for that particular reason. I'm going to pick this course here because this is one that I've kind of started to get into. Now, every course has an overview, and that basically tells you what you're going to be expected to know. Curriculum for that course is the same thing. It breaks it down into your assignments and your lectures, and usually there can be, honestly, some will have 2 lectures, some will have 15. Then there's your reviews. Now, when you start this course, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. You have your first assignment, which is your 7 liberal arts and sciences. And over here, you get a breakdown of exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. So, like in this particular case, your assignment title is Reflection on the seven liberal arts and sciences. Have to do an essay. And they're not big essays, usually 1,500 words, sometimes only 500 words. And we just kind of go with, basically, again, encouraging to write a reflective essay on what you've actually picked up. Once you're done that, now you have 2 choices here. When you come down further, there's podcasts, these are where all of your sources of information come from. And in some cases, there will be 6, and then a zip file, which will have a whole bunch more. You have the option then of just entering your text here, copy and paste, or just upload your file. You send it in, it automatically goes to the adjudicator of that course, which speeds things up compared to our old system. Then it becomes a conversation just between you and the adjudicator, and it can go back and forth in here. If you're both online, of course, it can go real time. If not, then he will get a notification. Yes, such and such a person has sent you an assignment, and then you just go back and forth. So really, once you're done, like in this one, your second assignment is a 7 liberal arts and sciences. Again, it's just a little different. Again, more resources. This one's podcasts. Send that in. And as soon as you're done that course and it's sent in for adjudication, which usually is done within a day, possibly 2 days, you automatically can move on to your next course. But again, it's structured, so you have to do the first 6, then the second 6, then the third 6, then your essays. We also have a Facebook page, which is kind of an open page, but we also have a closed Facebook group specifically for studying. So students want to reach out to each other, or if they want to just ask questions to other students, or whichever, they have that option. Those are the kind of things that we're trying to encourage is if students, especially from different provinces, want to talk to each other, that's the way that they can go about that and feel comfortable and feel, like they're not alone. We get ages from like new Masons to some who are older, some who are in their 60s, but we generally seem to get middle-aged and relatively new, or Masons who have been around a long time, and they feel like now is the time that they can go back and learn some of this stuff when the interest is there. Something else that Craig was alluding to that I should allude to is we are now in the 4 jurisdictions, which is BC, Yukon, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, interest in Nova Scotia, and interest in Labrador. What's interesting is when we say interest, we're not saying that there is a student. It's in Labrador, their Grand Lodge education officer has expressed interest, and he wants to take, in his particular case, he wants to have everybody in the province take the officers course. In Manitoba, what they're currently doing is they are compiling a list of 3 educational services within the country, and Ashlar is part of that. Alberta is just starting to come alive, so to speak. They have an allied Masonic degrees chapter there that just started. And what they do is for every student who is in their particular chapter, if they register for Ashlar College, they pay the registration fee. So it is starting to spread and it's starting to really help out. One thing that has really helped us with exposure is every year we have an annual essay contest. Usually what we do is just put a question out there and do whatever. This year we did it a little differently. We asked 4 questions. Students were asked to pick one of the 4 and just fire in an essay. With that, depending on you place first, second, or third, you get some kind of awards. You get a certificate. You will get a reduced rate at going through college. Um, this year was our best year ever for as far as applicants. We had applicants from Nova Scotia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC, and Yukon. And we did have one who was late, but he was from Nigeria. Other than that, there's really not a lot else I can tell you. We do have education officers, which is a new thing for us in each province. And what that person is responsible for is when their Grand Lodge has a question regarding what Ashlar can offer or what Ashlar can do for them, or if that education officer wants to, and in my particular case, and I know in BC, we go to different lodges and we do education talks. We will go and talk about the college, but we'll also talk about anything that we may have learned while we've taken these courses. So each one of the provinces just has the one person, and he's kind of like the go-between for everybody else. So in that regard, it seems to be a better alternative as we're getting out there more. And that's what we're striving to do. We are striving to put our courses in the hands of every Mason that's in Canada out there that wants to take it. There shouldn't be any kind of bias. As long as they're in good standing and a Master Mason, then we are more than happy to welcome them in and do what we can to pass that knowledge on. I think that is pretty much about it as far as I'm concerned, Tyler. If there's any questions, feel free. Like I said, I'm not the great public speaker, so.
Well, great. Thank you very much for that, Chris. That was excellent. I know a lot of the brethren around the jurisdiction have heard of Ashlar College, but many might not have had a good idea of what it is and all that you offer. So I think seeing it and showing it was going to reach a lot of people and give us a better understanding.